All right, today we're going to do something a little different. Instead of just covering a topic, we're going to actually deconstruct an argument as it happened in real time online. We're going to follow the blow-by-blow to see if we can find a clearer path through one of the most polarized issues out there right now.
And that really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? How do you find any kind of clarity when it feels like everyone is just screaming at each other? So, our goal here isn't to pick a side, not at all. It's to watch how an argument gets built, how it gets torn down, and then most importantly, how it gets rebuilt into something stronger. Okay, let's dive in.
So every argument has to start somewhere. And for this one, it began with a really common, almost intuitive attempt to find some kind of neutral territory, a simple middle ground right in the center of all the chaos. You see this kind of statement all the time, right? It's that classic, a pox on both your houses stance. And it feels reasonable. It feels balanced. It basically says, hey, both sides are equally to blame here, and the only sensible thing to do is call everyone out. It's a very common starting point for people just watching from the sidelines.
And here's the second piece of that initial argument. A really simple, common-sense analogy. The idea here is that a kid questioning their gender is basically just like a phase of make-believe, like pretending to be a cat. It's an argument that feels familiar and easy to grasp. But, as we're about to see, both of these starting points were about to get seriously challenged.
And here's where that challenge begins. This is the antithesis. It's the part where that initial, simple argument gets taken apart, piece by piece, as counter-arguments start demanding a lot more precision and a whole lot more context.
Okay, so first up, that cat analogy. It got targeted immediately with a really sharp distinction. The counterargument was, look, temporary play is one thing. It's an activity, a game that changes from day to day. But gender identity is defined by its persistence over time, and crucially by the very real distress, the dysphoria that can come with it. The core point here is simple. We're talking about two completely different phenomena.
Next, that slogan, leave kids out of it, got put under the microscope. The challenge was, well, what does it actually mean in the real world? Like, if a teacher casually mentions her wife, is she bringing kids into it? The argument that emerged was that this supposedly neutral stance isn't neutral at all. In practice, it just enforces a single default, a world where only one kind of identity is treated as normal and acceptable.
And this brings us to the next point, which really pushes back on that both sides are the same idea. The counterargument basically asks, hold on, are both sides really doing the same thing? It suggests that one side's action is, say, a library story time with the message "we exist." Meanwhile, the other side's action might be political ads trying to strip away legal rights with the effective message "you should not exist." From this point of view, calling them the same thing is a false equivalence.
Then the debate zeroed in on the popular narrative about kids making rash, irreversible decisions. As a counterpoint, the actual established medical protocol was laid out, and what it shows is a really slow, cautious, multi-year journey. It starts with things that are 100% reversible, like a new name or a different haircut. It involves years of psychological assessment, and things like surgery are only even considered for older teens after a very long, very well-documented history.
And to really frame the stakes of this whole thing, this powerful analogy was introduced. It contrasts the potential risk of acting, the scar the tourniquet might leave, with the potential risk of not acting. The point being made is that if you focus only on the potential harms of an intervention, you might be ignoring the much larger, documented risks of doing nothing at all.
So, with those initial, simple arguments pretty much dismantled, the debate moved into a totally new phase. This is the synthesis. This is where, out of the wreckage of the old ideas, a stronger, more nuanced, and more defensible framework started to get built.
This right here is a huge turning point. You can almost see the chaos of the debate starting to organize itself into an actual strategy. It starts by grounding the position in established facts and medical consensus. Then it moves to principles of visibility and protection. And it all lands on a really practical strategy. Focus on boring, effective solutions over extreme, loud rhetoric. And all of this led to a completely new definition of the middle ground. It was reframed. It's no longer a passive shrug, a compromise between two extremes. Instead, it becomes this active, fiercely protective space built around the child. In this view, the middle ground isn't about splitting the difference. It's about creating a safe zone where medical consensus guides the care and caution guides the pace.
So where does all this leave us? After the thesis, the antithesis, and the synthesis, after all that back and forth, the debate finally produced a refined, final thesis statement.
And this was the hard-won conclusion. What's so interesting about it is that it works not by trying to equate two opposing worldviews, but by creating a single, high standard of conduct for all adults. The core principle is this: it doesn't matter what your politics are. An adult's job is to protect a child's process of discovery, not to recruit them for one side of a culture war.
And that really brings us to the final thought to leave you with. After watching this entire argument play out, the ultimate question really isn't about which side has the better talking points. It's about what our fundamental goal should be. Is it to win an argument, to score points in an adult culture war, or is it to protect the process and create a safe space for a child's own journey to unfold? Something to think about.